show them. And this is going to be our jumping off place. So whatever you want to do with whatever you have today, whether it's just the knowledge and the understanding, or if you're ready to roll, we're ready. So Virginia, take it away.
Several of us worked together to put on the Atlanta Tea Party with Sean Hannity. And the big one in 2009, we had about 15 or 20,000 of our best friends show up.
Please silence your cell phones.
Thank you, Joel.
He can do that for give you just one.
That was good timing, Joel. I appreciate it. But anyway, a lot of folks showed up, and Joel, that's where I met Joel Aaron, who is on our team with Americans for Prosperity now. He's our grassroots coordinator. And he's our media guy too. He just doesn't have that title, but he is. And he came from radio, and he was working with a talk radio station, and they worked with us on the tea parties. And by the way, the very first tea party was only 300 people, and it was pouring rain. And it was a few weeks before that, when it was about 6 weeks before the big Atlanta Tea Party on April 15th. We had one that we had all put together after the Atlanta Tea Party. And we're going to start with some basics of our government. And if if it's something you already know, then that's okay. You can just take a little nap. I'll wake you up in a minute.
Thank you, Virginia.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
All right, it's good to see everybody awake, wide awake, right? I'm going to mention very quickly before we get started, Billy Demersman, raise your hand, Billy, is over here. He's a good friend of mine, and he's going to introduce himself a little bit more during the break over lunch, but just very quickly, he has some books in the back of the room. The book he wrote was called Distrust, and I read this. He gave me the manuscript before it was published, and I read it and believed in this so much, almost as like a Tea Party manifesto. It is phenomenal. 900 different footnotes or whatnot in the back. He goes through not only the economic peril where he is the architect of the Constitution, to say, study up on this. Before you have this convention you're planning to have to fix the Articles of Confederation, study up on these resources, because this was my guiding.
First nation on earth anymore. Did you know that? We've dropped down, and then in economic freedom, we're now number. Okay, I'm going to do it in terms of seconds, because a lot of people don't even understand a million, right? Okay, but let's say a million seconds is 11 and a half days. That's correct. I did this on a calculator, okay? Because somebody told me this analogy to help me out. $1 million or a million seconds is 11 and a half days. A billion seconds is 32 and a half years. So a trillion seconds is 32,500 years. And the headline. So let's say this, first of all. Never say anything that you don't want in the newspaper to a newspaper reporter. Okay? That was like, well, I don't want you to put this in there, but we'll organize it.
There is no off the record.
Right. Do that in an organized way. The other thing is, what does a radio reporter want? Yes. Who wants to listen to this on the radio? You know? I mean, you don't want like monotone. You know, if you're going to call in, I was like, you got to be kidding me. So, no, but they remember that. So, voice matters, and then they want a quote, but it's got to be short. You know, for the newspaper, you know, you can go on a little bit longer, but for radio, they're dealing in time schedules that are very tight. They have legal requirements for how often they have to say the name of that radio station and how many commercials they got to put on, you know, they've got.
Hi, I'm Naomi Swanson of the Dalton Tea Party, Dalton, Georgia, Whitfield County. We have a panel here at Ryman Hall in Dalton with Americans for Prosperity. We are learning the next step. Tea Party's talked about the November elections, and for the most part we were very pleased and very happy with the educational work we were trying to do, but there's a next step. We're here today with this group from Americans for Prosperity, learning how to affect legislation, how to legislate as basic as how to do letters, how not to do letters, emails. We have a great group of people. I think we have about 4 counties in North Georgia represented. We're having lunch. It is a great event. People are in there taking notes. They're mostly core group people, and all you have to do to be a core group person is just care and do a little work and affect the legislation. We're very happy. We're very proud to be here, and we hope this is just a beginning.
Okay, and your main thrust is to try and affect positive legislation through politicians.
That's correct. We're trying to affect policy. We are learning how to target the bills, how to read the bills, how to approach, how to follow up on the voting, and take it from a bill that is presented all the way until it is passed and legislated. And because they're given an analogy now of riding on the bus, that citizens have been riding on the bus without telling the driver where they want to go and where they want to get off, and the driver is the legislator. We need to change that. Those people on the bus need to be the directives of their destination.